Welcome to Chatting the Pictures. My name is Cara Finnegan, and I'm a writer, teacher, and historian of photography.
And I'm Michael Shaw. I'm a writer, a psychologist, and also publisher of Reading the Pictures.
One thing is for certain in this day and age: if you don't manage your political image, one will surely be crafted for you.
This photo was taken by Saul Loeb for Getty Images. It shows President Biden speaking to the U.S. Conference of Mayors in Washington, D.C. on January 21, 2022. Despite some wins, Biden's major proposals have been roadblocked in Congress, and he is struggling in the opinion polls.
We often talk about the president as having the bully pulpit, this idea that the president always is able to get the ear of the nation and the world simply by virtue of being able to use the office of the presidency to gain the public's attention. And this photo perfectly embodies that metaphor of the bully pulpit. And it should be the case that if Biden has nothing else, he should at least have that. But this photo really turns that idea on its head a bit, in that it's actually a quite disempowering image of Biden. And this is a theme in mainstream Biden news coverage lately.
Yeah, it feels like the DC photo press has actually crystallized around a visual style for Biden, and I think it's a growing problem for him. In days past, and this is in his earlier career, he'd be captured as goofy if he was having political problems, but today the narrative seems to range more between awkwardness and haplessness. We've been seeing other examples also casting Biden as particularly distant, vague, obscure, marginalized. In some cases, we see him out of focus. And there's a particular parallel to this particular image in a photo from March, also focused on his hands. In that case, you saw Biden clutching a railing after he stumbled boarding Air Force One.
I'm really struck by the composition of this Instagram square and what the photographer is doing with it. Loeb, I think, is really inviting us to see a series of what I would call cunning visual equivalences. First of all, we have the presidential seal. And if you look at the eagle on the presidential seal, the eagle is gripping arrows in one of its talons and olive branches in another. But Biden's own talons, those hands at the top of the podium, don't seem to embody the strength of the eagle, do they? They really seem to be holding on for dear life. And then there's an additional juxtaposition in this composition between Biden with his mouth between the two microphones and the eagle who carries a ribbon in his beak. And on the ribbon is written in Latin, e pluribus unum, which means of many, one. And so this kind of juxtaposition of Biden and the microphone and the eagle with the ribbon, I think highlights the political challenge that Biden faces in getting people to agree, in moving forward his agenda, and really that challenge of getting beyond the deep divides that make policymaking so challenging right now.
Yeah, I keep thinking over and over, is Biden being overly penalized because he's a weak orator and not that telegenic? And is that what we really crave or require in a leader these days? I'm glad that you were working the photograph from the bottom up, because I really am focusing on it more from top down. And, this photo, as you were saying, is like a metaphorical minefield. Politically, it's raising questions like, can Biden hold on? Is Biden losing his grip? And then moving from hand to face, is he lost? Is he out of touch? So it certainly raises concerns. It might not be fair or accurate, but Biden is turning into quite the flat catcher.